At first, I was very confused. I thought that this was the Chibi that went to Japan, but it's not. This is Chibi Reviews. This guy is a anime reviewer, and he has been called, surprisingly, one of the most shocking things that I've ever heard in my entire fucking life. His ex-girlfriend, which is shocker number one, has accused him of being his ex-pest. So I was shocked to hear that this wholesome cartoon enjoyer was also allegedly sexually violent. Now, what I've been told, according to him, is that he was accused of putting his hands around her neck. And his explanation for why he did this is extremely baffling to me, and I don't actually fully understand it. Supposedly, they were reenacting trauma, and I can't remember if it was him that was raped or her that was raped. But he said that he put his hands around her neck to simulate how he was choked out when he was raped, or how she was raped. That is weird, and I can't remember if this was like done. I think he was alleging that this was like a consensual demonstration, and she's saying that it was like he just got really like spurred out and choked her. But he's saying that like no, we were just doing like a wholesome demonstration together. So that was weird. She also alleged that he hit her in the head with a rake. He did. He admits this. He says it was an accident. So he said that, I can't remember how, I think he drove over it with his car or some shit and like flew away and hit her upside the fucking head. Or he was just like walking around with it and was just so clumsy and stupid, he just bonked her upside the fucking head with a rake. And it really hurt her. And she said, he beat me with a rake upside the head. And he's like, yes, I did, but it was an accident. So that was defense number two. Let's just read what this guy wrote. Happened 2+ years ago. She apparently aborted his child. I hate to say this, but I can at least understand her perspective. She is mentally ill. Well, she is dating an anime guy. Oh, he cheated on her despite saying he didn't. I don't know if that's true. What he said, when I say cheating, I mean like physical entanglement or like one-line thing. What the main crux of this relationship and the reason why it was so bad is kind of a interesting concept. He reviews anime as a job, right? And anime, of course, is one of the most like goon baited things in the entire fucking world. I honestly don't understand it. The Japanese people are just perverts, so like all of their cartoons are like the most like explicit or like charged things, even if they're not explicit, ever made. So he watches what he called, in his own words, let me just find this actually. I'll play this part. I remember this part clearly. I'm done. Apparently it's a big channel too. 500,000 subs. 500,000 subs to watch this talk about anime.
I have a lot of Gooner posts now. Adore, you can look and comment on nude anime girls. To give context to this, obviously I have a lot of Gooner posts now, but back when this happened in 2022, 2021 and stuff, I didn't really post much content like that. And you want to know why? Because of her. I respected her boundaries. But me reviewing fan service anime made her upset. To give context, that's why she mentions that. If I've reviewed fan service like anime and talked about it, she would get upset like I was cheating on her. That's how she felt about the situation. But one thing that really stings about this whole situation, she straight up said, I'm gonna die alone. And then she basically says that the only thing I'll have left is my hollow adoration for you guys, the community, that has been with me thick and thin. So yeah.
So his girlfriend, this is on her. If you listen, if you're a woman and you're talking to a guy and he says like, well, my interests are like anime, just run. I know it sounds like, oh, it can't be that bad. It's that bad every time. There's people that watch this shit. There's something wrong with them, and I know they get mad at me. No, something wrong with them. Okay, I try when I was 18. I don't think I've ever said this on stream, but I think it's known. When I was 18, I have said this before, I'll say it again. I was very unhappy with where my life was, so I decided I was going to do something completely and totally different. And because I spent a lot of time on 4chan, where a ton of anime shit is, I decided that I would go to Japan. So for a month, I tried to watch anime, and it sucks. So if you ever hear me reference an anime, it was because at this point, when on my 18th birthday, I tried getting into A and talking to A and getting random recommendations, and I watched a bunch of them, and they're all fucking garbage. Every single one of them. I don't remember any of them being particularly good, and the ones that I do remember as like being like good as to watch when I was watching it. They're just very manipulative shows. Like the Japs, they just throw sex in your face and they try to emotionally manipulate you. And then Elfen Lied is the one that comes to mind because it has this really beautiful song. And the Japanese are good at making music. That's the one thing that they can do in the island. So they just like play this really sad music, and it's like. And it's just like over the top emotional extortion and manipulation all the fucking time with tits. Her magic powers that she has like psychic powers, and of course when she gets angry and starts murdering everybody, her clothes rip off and her tits hang out, and like she's just completely naked. And that's the show. And then she falls in love with someone I think who's like her father. I think she calls him like a father or something. I don't know. I forget. I think she killed her father. Because it's like a laboratory man. She's like grown in a vat or some shit like Nick Fuentes. And then I like the intro song to that. They make good music. That's the issue. That's the issue with the Japanese. So what I'm saying is, it's all bad. And if they ever say anything about Made in Abyss, I've not watched that. I'll never watch that, but I just know. Don't trust any who watches Made in Abyss. This is a fact, a natural law. There's another one that's like very emotional. I need to get this off. I watched this fucking thing because people in A told me that it was good. It was like a show. Oh, I remember. Okay, hold up. I remember this song. Clanad. It's a song, and this is peak emotional manipulation. It's about like togetherness and big families, and if I remember correctly in the show, it's about like a ghost girl that is like forgotten by everybody, and so her ghost disappears, and then of course it's like the little girl is like fading into non-existence as she like tries to talk to people and they can't see her, so she's just like crying because like all her friends have forgotten about her. And then it hits you at the end with the Dongo song about big happy families. I'm just like, you fucking evil you bastards. What the fuck is wrong with you? That's the show. That's what A told me to watch. This emotional manipulation bullshit. That was a small part of the story. That's the only thing I remember is the ghost girl dying, and then it cuts to the happy family song about the little doughballs living together, okay? I'm not watching any... No, if you're writing me a recommendation letter, fuck you. I'm not... I'm not watching this. So, my point is, it's kind of on her. It's on her for allowing this man into her life. I do blame her. I think that the shovel or rake was a good wake-up call about the anime question. She's probably firmly on my team. But yeah, in general, I think a woman would have issue with you watching like explicitly like, fan service animes. Not surprised. Men will one day have to make a difficult decision between their fan service anime and a woman worth a shit, and many of them will fail. That was a small part of the story. That's the only thing I fucking remember is the ghost girl dying, and then it cuts to the happy family song about the little doughballs living together. Okay. I'm not watching any... No, if you're writing me a recommendation letter, fuck you. I'm not... I'm not watching this. So, my point is, it's kind of on her. It's on her for allowing this man into her life. I do blame her. I think that the shovel or rake was a good wake-up call about the anime question. She's probably firmly on my team. But yeah, in general, I think a woman would have issue with you watching like explicitly pornographic fan service animes. Not surprised. Men will one day have to make a difficult decision between their fan service anime and a woman worth a shit, and many of them will fail.